All right, everybody, it's your boy Genius out here at the range today doing another. It's a chilly morning. It's like 42 degrees outside. That's chilly for us North Carolinians. But I'm doing another viewer requested comparison between two guns. I have the my old school, my OG, if you will, SP-01 from CZ, and then I have my IWI Jericho, the all metal version 941. And I've done separate not comparison, but reviews on each one of these guns, and several people asked if I could compare the two to see if, you know, maybe the IWI would compare it all, or maybe I would like it more than my SP-01. So, you know, I pay attention to folks in the comment section, and I try to do what I can, and I do appreciate the recommendations. Sometimes they're awesome recommendations, ones I would have never thought of. Before I get started talking about these two guns, as always, I want to invite you to know Jesus Christ as your Savior. The most important thing that you'll ever do in your life is to settle that matter. If you're unsure, if you've procrastinated, if you've heard it, you just pushed it away, pushed it out of sight, out of mind kind of thing, don't do that anymore. Today is the day of salvation. Reach out to us, g2tactical@gmail.com, and allow us to share the good news of the gospel of Jesus Christ with you. Also, a lot of people want to see different guns. They ask all the time, buy this, buy that, review this, review that. And they say it sometimes in a very demanding way. It's not a request, it's more of a demand. And I try to do what I can, but it costs money, of course. I don't have an ammo sponsor, and I buy 98% of the guns that I review myself with my own money, okay? So if you could consider going over to Patreon, click on the link in the corner of the screen, take you right over there, support us, 5, 10, 20, as much as you want per month. It is reoccurring. You can cancel anytime. We also have a website, g2tactical.com. You could also click on the link in the corner of the screen, take you right over there. You can pick up some merchandise, or you can click on the 3 lines in the top left-hand corner of the screen. When it pops down, click on support the channel. Yes, there are tiers to pick, and there's already pre-inserted prices in there, but you can wipe those out, put in what you would like to donate. It is a one-time monetary donation. It is not reoccurring, and it all will go back into the channel to do what Amanda and I do. So again, I do have reviews up separately on each one of these guns. So as far as every single little intimate detail about them, I'm not going to go through all of that. I'm just going to go through some of what I can see right in front of me, what I can look at the two guns and tell you are different about them. But I will tell you the weights. The weight on the 941 is 2.38. The weight on the SP-01 is 2.53. The barrel length on the 941 is 4.4, and the SP-01 is 4.6. Overall length 8.2 on the Jericho, 8.15 on the SP-01, and the overall width 1.1 on the Jericho, 1.2 on the SP-01. I only told you all of that just to, you know, kind of give you an idea of how close they are in comparison, as the IWI is a clone, if you will, of the CZ75. So we will start up top. All right, it does have serrations all the way across the top on both of them. My version of the SP-01, either way, I'm sure there's some that didn't, but mine came with what looks like true glow night sights. Okay, they are just plain white during the day, but they do glow green at night. And the Jericho just has the 3 white dots. Okay, both of them have that low bore axis, so that slide that's real thin, that a lot of people, or some people, say they don't like, that rides real low into the frame. So you don't have a whole lot of real estate up there, which makes the Jericho not having front serrations a little bit of a pain. And the SP-01, or at least my variant, does have the front serrations. The Jericho has a 2-slot accessory rail, and the SP-01 is a 3-slot. Squared off trigger guard on the Jericho, more rounded on the SP-01. Both of them are serrated on the front. We will talk about the trigger later in this video. Both of them are double single action. Ambi safety on the SP-01, nothing ambi on the Jericho. no ambi-mag release or ambi-slide lock on either one of them, although it does seem and look as though you can swap them around on both guns. Okay, skeletonized hammer on the SP-01, not so much on the Jericho. The texturing on the front strap of the SP-01 is much more aggressive on the front and on the back because it's more of a checkering and not lines. It's just lines on the front and the back of the Jericho, so you don't feel like you have as sure of a purchase, although it does. Both of them do very much so feel great in the hand. They both have nice deep extended beaver tails, so you really can get high and tight on these guns. Has the little bump out on the back of the Jericho. Neither one of them have interchangeable back straps or anything like that. All metal, of course, on both of these. I have replaced the grips on both of them, so that does affect the width on both of these guns. I did put lock grips on both of them. As you know, I'm a huge fan of lock grips. I've had just about every type of grip out there, and they always seem to be the best for me, and they just look the best in my personal opinion. As I said, you can carry these cocked and locked like a 1911. There is no decocker, so what I do, how I carry or use this, or if I put it on the nightstand, either one of them, I simply just lower the hammer myself and leave the safety off and just pull from a double action on the first shot. Let's see, what else? 17 round magazines in both of them. The CZ does have a CZ emblem on the front of them. I think they're probably Metgar magazines. Not sure about the IWI. It's a very odd looking magazine, all metal, but both well made, and like I said, both 17 rounders, although I do have a +2 extension on the SP-01 here. So I think I went through about all I wanted to go through on each one of them. They are extremely similar, and as you know, I do like both of them a great deal. Okay, so I think I'm just going to do what I typically do. I'm just going to try and alternate between these targets. I'll start with the Jericho. Seeing, I guess I haven't shot a single shot this morning. It's been about 4 days since I've been at the range. And again, as you guys know, I'm spoiled to the red dots. So give me a little bit of a break. If I don't do that well, I'll be just as rusty, if you will, with both of them. So it'll still be fair. Then I'll flip the camera around and I'll do a accuracy test. I'll move back a little bit. I'm standing here at about 12 yards. You know what? I'll just do it at 12 yards. See which one I can shoot more accurately with when I'm doing a more slow, methodical shooting. And then I'll just kind of give you an idea. I'll talk to you about the trigger. Let's just talk about the trigger right now, because I know that's what everybody wants to talk about. Both of them are very similar in that they, let's see, they have that rounded shape of your finger, if you will. Some people like that. Seems like the flat face trigger is all the rage today, but I guess being an old FUD, I really do like the roundness of the trigger there. I don't know, I'm just a fan of that. There's no way your finger will get pinched like so many flat face triggers do, but we'll just try to do this right fast. So you have that much take up on the Jericho right there. You hit a wall. This is a double action. I'm gonna pull it with it all the way down. I did half cock it. So there's your take up without it being half cocked. Okay, do the reset. Not bad, pretty short, not super tactile. A little bit of take up after the reset. And the second shot is actually a really good shot. Really good trigger on that second shot. So let's do the same thing with the SP-01. Hammer all the way down. About the same amount of take up, not much different. A little bit lighter, it feels like. I've shot both of these guns probably about the same amount. Okay, Seems like maybe the reset comes a little bit further out on the SP-01, but it's way more tactile in that it pushes back on your finger and is a lot more audible than is the Jericho. But I don't know if I would give one over the other. I'd say probably a little bit better trigger on the SP-01, just simply because of that reset and because the double action trigger feels, typically it's hard for me to pick stuff up like that. So if I pick up on it, it's probably a significant difference, okay, in that double action trigger. So I'm gonna try to alternate between these targets. And well, actually what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna shoot at one single target, and I'll pay attention to the muzzle rise and the trigger while I'm shooting it, and just the performance, how it feels, that kind of thing. And do the same thing with the SP-01, and I'll do the alternating and let you guys see that and the accuracy test. So let's just start with that. So I had a little bit of an issue there with the Jericho. I don't know what happened there. Well, I do know what happened there. We'll talk about it. I tell you, man, that single action trigger on that is pretty light, pretty light. Find yourself double tapping that bad boy. But I had a situation there. That's the first time I can recall ever having an issue with the Jericho. We had kind of a stovepipe. It didn't fully eject the that round, the spent casing. So let's do the same thing with the CZ here. I hate to kind of allude to which one I'll pick before the video's even over, but that trigger seems, the trigger doesn't seem, is absolutely more predictable on the SP-01. It's overall just a better trigger, and the recoil was significantly, or felt significantly less on this one. The muzzle rise was less. I was staying on target, able to shoot faster. I don't know. That's just a good gun, good fun gun to shoot. So let's get the target spray painted and reloaded, and we'll do an accuracy test over here. And maybe then again, we'll try to alternate between the targets and do the dueling tree over here. All right, I'm going to start out here with the Jericho, standing at about 12 yards as mentioned, just shooting for the center of the target. Had another little stovepipe situation there. I'm gonna do the same thing with the SP-01. Did have another one of those stovepipe situations. This gun has been sitting in the safe for a little while, but to be fair, both of them have been. So I didn't clean them or oil them before I came out here today. And like I said, man, you seen I double tapped that one, or inadvertently pulled the trigger on that second shot, or that follow-up shot, because it is a super light trigger after it resets on the Jericho. So here we go with the SP-01. I'd say the group is a little bit tighter on the SP-01. Again, you guys are gonna have to give me some grace because man, I really need to start shooting more with iron sights because you get spoiled with that red dot. But either way, I definitely feel as though I was keeping a tighter group with the SP-01. All right, I'm gonna start with the IWI. I didn't mention when I was going over some of the specs that the magazines are interchangeable between the two of them. But either way, I did drop about 3 or 4 drops of oil in the IWI. Like I said, it has been sitting in the safe for quite some time, and I think the last time I shot it, I didn't clean it because I've never had that issue, much less have it twice in one range sitting. So I have the 6 on the dueling tree, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. I have 17 in the mag, 1 in the pipe, 18, so I don't have any room for error. One shot unless I get the one on the ground there. But I'm gonna try to hit every one of these, knock all of them off the dueling tree, and wish me luck. Well, had me another stovepipe. Kind of aggravating. There it went again. Another stovepipe. Another one. It's crazy. Well, at least I knocked them all off of the Texas Star. That's kind of aggravating. Kind of disheartening. I've never had an issue with that gun. Well, let me reset them and I'll do the same thing with the SP-01. All right, I'm gonna do the same thing with the SP-01. Anyone asks, I'm putting 115 through both of them. I don't know, maybe the IWI needs 124. Maybe I'll try to put a mag at the end of the video of 124. I've shot 115 through it before. I've never had issues with it. Maybe it's just a cleaning thing, I don't know. All right, so again, wish me luck. Not bad, not bad. So before I wrap up the video, I have to find out if it's ammo related or not, because again, I've never had a single issue out of this gun as long as I've had it. I've shot this gun a lot. So I'm kind of perplexed by what's going on here. So before anybody gives me a hard time, I really wasn't aiming at the target. I was just trying to see if it would run, but so I more or less accidentally hit the target. I was trying to shoot out into the woods there, but it hit the target about 4 or 5 times. But either way, maybe that's what it was. I don't know. Maybe it needed some 124. Same brand. Both of them are Blazer Brass. Actually, no MagTech. Both of them are MagTech, 115, 124. So I don't know. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe it wasn't cleaning or oil. Maybe it just needed a 124 put in it. I don't know, but it went off without a hitch with the 124. But again, I've ran a lot of 115 through it, never had any issues. But I don't think it comes as any surprise. I definitely perform better with the SP-01. It feels balanced better. It feels better in my hand overall, even with the original factory grips. I think because of this is how I would carry the gun. I would lower the hammer, quarter cock that thing, leave the safety off, and I'd pull the first round from a double action. And that double action trigger is way better on this SP-01 than it is on the IWI. But after it resets, that IWI is touchy, as you well seen. I double tapped it quite a few times. So better single action trigger on the IWI, better double action trigger on the SP-01, but overall just a better trigger on the SP-01. A few better features on the gun, and just overall performs better, more accurate and all of that. I didn't do a bang up job with either one of them, but that is just due to the fact that I shoot everything with with red dots now. So it is what it is, SP-01. But the IWI Jericho 941, even the enhanced, I've had several of them, the compact, they're all great guns. You can't go wrong with them. I just put the 124 through there. Maybe that's what it needs. Maybe it has gotten older and it's a little more ammo picky now. I don't know, but we was having some issues with the 115, but the 124 went off without a hitch. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Ask any questions I may not have answered in the video, and I will reach out and talk to you about it in the comment section. Hit the thumbs up. It's free to subscribe. And as always, to God only be the glory.